Hi there, welcome along to the latest edition of the England Golf Podcast with me, Ian McFarlane. Well, it's been another busy month for amateur golf with championships well underway and clubs alive to the sound of happy golfers getting back into the swing of things. On this edition of the podcast, we look ahead to the biggie, the English Men's and Women's Amateur Championships at Lindrick and Worksop golf clubs at the end of July. Now, England Golf graduates Danny Willett and Lee Westwood join me to talk about the courses that will host this year's championship, both of which are dear to their hearts. Danny remains a member at Lindrick, while Lee grew up playing on his home course of Worksop and knows it like the back of his hand. We get the inside track from the two Englishmen on what it will take to win on their home patches. You can also hear my conversation with one of the brightest young talents in the game. Rachel Gourley is in a rich vein of form, winning almost every time she steps on a golf course at the moment. The Justin Rose Telegraph Junior Championship, the Sunningdale Foursomes, the Scottish Girls Open, and even a win on the Pro Tour at the Rose Ladies Series. Not a bad 6 months for the golfer from Northumberland, and she's only just starting. We also look back at World Biodiversity Day and hear what Saunton, the fantastic venue for the recent Brabazon Trophy, do to ensure golf and nature coexist in perfect harmony on the North Devon coast. And in the news roundup, we hear from the winner of the Brabazon himself, 18-year-old South African Christian Maas, who blew the field away with a barrage of birdies in his first ever event on English soil. But first, let's hear from the pros. Between them, Danny Willett and Lee Westwood have won 52 professional events worldwide, with one of Danny's 8 wins coming unforgettably at the 2016 Masters at Augusta. Yet it all started for them at their local tracks of Lindrick and Worksop, where the cream of English men's and women's amateur golf will gather this summer for the English Amateur Championships. I caught up with both Danny and Lee at the recent British Masters at the Belfry, where first of all, host Danny was only too happy to take a trip down memory lane. Danny, thanks for stopping by this morning. I'm going to introduce you as the 2007 English Amateur Champion. When was the last time somebody said that to you?
That was a while ago. Some good memories. Good memories of amateur golf.
Now, of course, this year the English Amateur Championships at Lindrick and Worksop. Now, I know you know Lindrick in particular. Am I right in thinking you're a member there?
Yeah, we live just off the back of the 6th, so yeah, we're down there a good bit when the weather's good enough.
In terms of what the competitors can look forward to this year, what's your inside track on Lindrick?
It all depends how they can get it set up. It's obviously had open qualifying for many years, and I know for that they get it really firm and fast, and often plays really tricky. It's not overly long, and the golf course hasn't really been extended in the last few years. But just when the wind starts swirling around there, just a good solid test of kind of shot making and keeping your ball under control. And yeah, like I said, notoriously when it gets really firm and fast in the summer, it does play pretty tricky. It's
a famous course as well, hosted the Ryder Cup. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that when you walk into the clubhouse? Does it feel a special place?
It is a special place. You know, you've still got all the memorabilia from the Ryder Cup on the walls. Obviously, me and Westy have both been members there for a long time. I don't think Westy still is now that he lives up in Newcastle. So yeah, it's got a good vibe to the place with the history that it's had. I think that was all the way back in 1920, 40 something. It was a long time ago. I know that. And it's nice when when a golf course has said that it's had the Ryder Cup, with the great players that have played it, obviously, and just to have that on its resume, and then to still keep up with obviously EGU events, to have the RNA, obviously the open qualifying there, just shows that people regard it as a good solid test of golf.
Do you get to play it often? I know you obviously said you live nearby, but do you ever pop out? You climb over the fence?
Yeah, we do. Holes? Yeah, no, we do. There's a little snicket that I can walk through. I'll take me and Nick will go for a walk, and I'll take the clubs, and the kids will come and have a mess around, and it'll just be your kind of. There's quite a nice little loop that I can do with about 6 or 7 holes on an evening time in the summer. Like I said, when the weather's good enough and we fancy it.
Is there a favourite hole that you have, or perhaps one that's just particularly tough that you either like playing or look forward to challenging yourself on?
There's a couple of really tricky holes around the turn, 12, 13, and then you've got a really, I'm not going to say an easy finish, but you've got a pretty nice finish in 2 par 5s, a near enough travel par 4, par 5 16, and then 17's not too long, 18's are really, again, finishing with a par 3, not always happen round golf courses, but Like I said, when the wind's whipping around there, it's a real strong finishing hole for a par 3. So you've got some scoring chances coming down that back 9 if you can get through the middle section.
What will it take for somebody to win the English Am there? Both the men and the women are playing there this year. So what kind of golfer will emerge as the champion for both the men and the women?
A good one.
That's the thing. It's going to be a good champion.
It is. It's going to be. It is. There's no looking your way around that golf course. A few of the runoffs, bounces. You're into ghost bushes. Like I said, you've really got to golf your ball well. They've redone a few of the bunkers. The greens are notoriously not that big. And it's I think when anyone comes off there, like I said, it all depends on the conditions. If it's soft, people rip it up because it's not overly long. We know that now with how golf courses kind of play. But if they can get it firm and fast and make people think about where they want to be for the second shots, to determine what they're going to hit off the tee, then it'll throw up a few surprises and people are going to have to concentrate that a little bit more. And I think you'll get a really, really good ball striking winner.
Can I just take you back to the summer of 2007, 15 years ago? I think Gordon Brown was Prime Minister and mobile phones were used for making phone calls back in those days, Danny. But what do you remember of that week at Royal St George's?
I remember having a great week. Me and my best friend Sam Haywood shared a caravan.
Luxury, yeah?
It was luxury back then. And basically we were both playing and we both said to each other, whoever gets the furthest, the other one will caddy. So yeah, I remember. I played nice all week. Beat a few of the lads that I obviously now see out and around. Me and Matt Cryer in the final. Just a great fun week down at St George's. For us as amateurs at the time, I was probably not far off the number one amateur in the world, and I was having a really, really good couple of years spell of some really good golf. Not only in college in America, but then back in all the national events as well. So I was in a pretty rich vein of form, and it was nice to be able to back up and actually get one of the major U championships under my belt.
You've won, I think, 8 times on tour as a professional. You've won in 4 continents, but does that English amateur win still rate highly when you look back at your career as a kind of landmark occasion for you as you progress towards the professional ranks?
Yeah, I mean, you look at, nobody ever really knows if you're going to be ready for professional golf at any moment in time, but when you continue to win national championships, national opens against, they're the only people you can play against, are the best players at that time in your age range or in your country. So to be able to pit yourself against them guys and beat them, it was just kind of all little stepping stones on the way to realising that actually, there might be a good chance I'm going to be all right, when I turn pro.
Danny, many congratulations on all you've achieved in your career so far, starting off with that English amateur victory, and if you're in during the last week in July, we'll pop in for a cup of tea. I'm
going to pop in, I'll be on the back of the 6th with a cup of tea.
Good man, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Lee, thanks for stopping by this morning. English amateur this year is at 2 golf courses you know very well, Lindrick and Worksop. First of all, Lindrick, perhaps a little more heritage to it. Tell us your views on that golf course.
Yeah, Lindrick's a good golf course. It probably would have held more tournaments if it hadn't have had the road running right through the middle of it. Obviously, over the years they've built bridges and underpasses for the members, which has made it possible to have things like the English Amateur. But it's an excellent golf course. A lot of good testing holes on it. Greens are always good. If you've got to hit it straight. If you hit it offline, it gets really tough. The rough's thick. The ball seems to settle down at the bottom. Sometimes you can't find your ball. So I don't know how they set it up. It's a good test.
It's going to be a true test, isn't it? Men and the women's amateur championships there this year. What kind of golfer will prevail in both those events? What does it take to win round Lindrick?
Generally, they find the best golfer with the fewer weaknesses. I remember one of the first tournaments, or probably the first tournament I ever went to, was the Weetabix Ladies British Open. There may have been 88 even. So remembering the players that hit it straight obviously did the best.
And the second course that's been used for the English Am this year is Worksop. A lot of people might not know a little bit about it, but you obviously grew up playing your golf there and remember it fondly.
Yeah, that's where I grew up playing golf, and a lot of good junior golfers and golfers have come out of there. Worksop's similar to Lindrick, maybe a few bigger trees, cuts through the forests a little bit more. A lot of tight holes, have to grow up hitting the ball straight there, or you not going to get your handicap down. Let's put it that way. It's not the longest golf course. Over the years, obviously, technology's made it play short. When I was growing up, it was a long enough golf course, but sandy soil, drains very well. Can play fast that time of year. Greens are undulating, quick. So you have to have a lot of imagination on the greens.
A great opportunity for juniors in the area to come out and watch some top-class amateur golf. I could imagine that as a kid, if that event was going on at your golf club, you'd have been all over it.
Yeah, I've been watching or playing, that's for sure. I've just played a lot of amateur championships, English amateurs, and always enjoyed that tournament. It's a good way to kind of rate where you are at. So obviously selectors in regard to England golf teams are always watching that one very closely. And I'm pleased it's going to Worksop. The club deserved it.
Is there a particular hole we should look out for?
So many good holes in Worksop. The 9's a tough hole. The par 3s are very good. 12, 13, around that corner, 14, 15, depending on whether we play as a par 5 or par 4 this year. That's a great stretch of golf. Kind of 8, you try and score on the first 7 holes, and then 8 through 14, you try and hold on.
You obviously grew up playing amateur golf and played in a few English amateurs. Any particular memories down the years from these events? So like really, 30 odd years ago, at least.
It is a long time ago. I don't really remember doing that well in the English amateur over the years. Probably my best result was at Saunton. I think I lost in the semis to David Lynn, maybe. But like I say, they were mentioned another great golf course. English amateurs were always played around great golf courses.
The Brabazon's at Saunton this year, so it's another challenge for the golfers going down there in a few weeks.
Yeah, my son played it a couple of weeks ago in the west of England, and said it was in good condition. It was a tough test. There's some big scores around there, and once again, it's another great golf course, great links golf course, but probably doesn't get the recognition it deserves.
Lee, you're still going strong on the DP World Tour yourself. What are your hopes for this season?
Just to keep playing well. When you get to 49 years of age, you're maybe not as consistent as you used to be when you were younger, but certainly if I pull it all together on the right weeks, then I know I can contend and have a chance of winning.
Good stuff. Lee, all the best for the season.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Great stuff from Lee and Danny there, two inspiring individuals who continue to do English golf proud on the world scene. Good luck for the rest of the season, fellas. Now, another golfer impressing at the moment is at the other end of her career path. Rachel Gourley is only 17, but is making big strides in her goal to one day reach the top of the women's game. An integral part of the England girls squad, Rachel is enjoying a purple patch of form right now, winning 3 individual titles, a pairs event with England colleague Lottie Wood, and even beating the pros at their own game by taking top spot at the recent Rose Ladies Series event at Walton Heath. From starting out with a set of Barbie clubs picked up in her local golf shop, Rachel has worked hard to get to where she is right now, but is eager to learn and keep progressing in her career. I caught up with Rachel during a recent England girls squad session at the National Golf Centre at Woodall Spa. Rachel, thank you for joining us. Now, Scotty Scheffler in America has won 4 out of his last 6 starts. But you're probably the English equivalent of Scotty Scheffler at the moment. Everything you seem to play and you seem to win.
Yeah, close enough.
What's the secret to the success?
I wish I could tell you. Just tee it up and hope for the best.
Hard work as well.
Obviously, yeah.
Now, we'll rewind a little bit to the first victory, which was probably the most significant because it started the ball rolling for you.
Yeah.
It's back in last October at Walton Heath, the Justin Rose Junior Telegraph. Now, it was dead simple, wasn't it? You had a 5-shot lead going up the last.
Yeah, I just thought I'd make it a bit interesting.
We can joke about it now, but tell us about it. Tell us about that last hole. We'll get that out of the way first,
Okay, yeah.
and then we'll talk about everything else.
So I knew I had the 5-shot lead still on the last tee, and the 18th wasn't a hole that I particularly liked the look of. It was a bunker right on my driving distance. It's kind of all week it had been just miss the bunker, but I decided to hit the bunker. And then in kind of like a panic of, I've got a lead, just get the ball in the hole, I took like a stupid drop. And it just all kind of escalated from there. I ended up holding like a 9-foot putt for an 8 in the end, which was obviously quadruple bogey, but I ended up winning by 1, so it was a big relief.
But if you look in the positives, because I think you described it as a meltdown and a kind of John Van de Velde moment.
Yeah.
You were thinking, oh my God, the cameras are here and what's happening to me? But you got it up and down from 97 yards at the point that you had to win it. So, you know, okay, we'll gloss over the fact it was all going wrong before that, but you showed a lot of character is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Did you feel that yourself when you analysed it again after the event?
Definitely, yeah. I think looking at even just like how I managed to hold my nerve to get it up and down from there, because I hadn't worked it out. I didn't really know. Like there's a image on Sky where I'm like counting on my fingers how many shots I've had to try to work out like what I was playing for. But yeah, it gave me a lot of confidence as well to know that I have that like nerve in me to be able to do it under pressure.
The thing about that was, though, people don't remember, was the birdies at 15, 16 and 17 that had put you in that position. So you were clearly playing very well. Was it just a case of a bit of nerves down the last?
I mean, I played well kind of all week, and there was never a sign of like having a big number in my game that week. It was just kind of, like definitely nerves, and then the panic of hitting the bad shot off the tee. It just kind of spiraled after that. But yeah.
But great to look back on now, and a big victory for you, as I touched on at the beginning, that it kind of got the ball rolling for you.
Yeah.
It was psychologically, was it quite a big win for you?
Definitely, yeah. It gave me a lot of confidence going into even just the start of the season, knowing that I finished last season on a win.
And then we roll on to Sunningdale.
Yeah.
That was the next victory. And this time you teamed up with Lottie Wood, who's part of the England girls squad with you, and who you beat by 1 shot at Walton Heath to win the Justin Rose. So you're obviously good friends with her, and she didn't hold it against you, the fact you beat her at Walton Heath. So what's the dynamic like between you two for the foursomes?
Yeah, like we've been teammates and friends for like 3 or 4 years now. So, and we were going to play in the tournament last year, but obviously it got cancelled due to COVID. So it's something that we wanted to do. But I think because we like practice together and play together so often, we have like a really fun dynamic that just kind of, it works. Like it wasn't too serious, but serious enough that we could kind of get the job done.
There must be something about playing in these matches with Lottie that kind of brings out the best in both of you, though, because as you say, you're good friends, but you're competitors, but you seem to really bounce off one another really well. Is that the case? Yeah,
I think we're both like really competitive people, so having that like for both of us, having that person that's like a similar standard that we can both compete against, but also, as you said, we're good friends, so we can kind of have a laugh about it, and it's quite like comfortable to play. But as I say, we're both really competitive, so there's still that kind of competitive side to it.
You were the only all-female partnership in the event this year. Were you aware of that going into it? Was that an extra spur to kind of do it for the girls?
Yeah, we knew that because we kind of worked out that we were only pair in the field that had 10 shots, which was a nice little bonus. So yeah, that was.
What was it like competing against professionals? Because it was 2 professionals you beat in the final, wasn't it?
I guess it was kind of like, it was weird because it's something that we've never done before. Well, besides kind of like events in like 2020 when there weren't many things going on. I know she played clutch and I played 2020. But yeah, to then be suddenly up against them and like we were almost competing to win. It was just like, it was different to what we normally do. But I think as well, it kind of motivated us to win, because it was like, we're not going to be defeated by these. Who's that?
Quite right. There's 2 guys you beat in the final, both professionals, James Root and Paul Hendrickson. Yeah. But you smashed them 6 and 5. You didn't just beat them, did you? No.
I think for both of us, like knowing that the win was only that far away, especially as well having the 10 shots, it was like a nice little buffer. I think we worked out in the end we were, without the shots, I think we were 1 up on the hole that we won. So we were playing good, but I think, just knowing that we were that close kind of gave us that extra bit of fire to get it over the line.
It's quite interesting what you say, that you would have been winning had it been a scratch match anyway, because there's been a little bit people saying, oh, these girls are too good, they're +4, +5 handicaps anyway, and they're getting so many shots. But it just goes to show that if it had been a scratch match, you would probably still have won it. Rolling on to 2022, further into 2022, you won at Formby as well, which is one that people kind of forget about because it's not high profile, but you finished with a 66, I think, to win that.
Yeah.
Which just shows the form is rolling on, and Formby isn't an easy golf course. No. So what were your thoughts on that event?
Yeah, it was, so obviously it's the it pairs with the Convoy Scratch, which was the week before.
Sorry, you were second in that. We don't mention second places. It's only we'd be here all day if we were talking about your second places, Rich.
But I started that tournament with a 6 under 66 as well, which kind of gave me confidence going into obviously Formby. And I didn't have the best first round, but I went out second round knowing that there needed to be a low number to win. To be honest, I didn't force it too much. It was just kind of, I was playing golf and making birdies. But it gave me a lot of confidence heading into the next few tournaments that were coming up.
But having won that first time in the Justin Rose and then the Sunningdale and then Formby, does it start to grow? Does it snowball? Do you start feeling better about yourself? And you just, people often talk about, the game becomes easy. It's a difficult game, we all know that, but just that your confidence levels are so high that you feel as if you can pull off shots and you can do things when you need to. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I said to my coach, I had a playing lesson with my coach, I think the week before Scottish Girls, which was the week after Formby. And I said to him, I feel confident enough to go and win. And I think that was just an accumulation of, my good results from obviously the back end of the 2021 season and then the start of the 2022 season.
Having known you for a few years now, Rachel, that strikes me that that's quite a telling moment. That you're saying, I feel as if I can win, because you're quite reserved, you're quite shy. So was that a change in mindset for you ahead of a big national championship that you actually thought,
Yeah, definitely. Because as you say, I've always kind of been that kind of reserved person, but I think even people could see when I was at Scottish Girls that my body language and kind of my mindset was different because I did have that extra boost of confidence, and it was a good feeling.
Talking about the Scottish Girls, that was quite a week, wasn't it? Because I've played Irvine Golf Club a few times in my many years. It's a tricky course. It's fiddly, isn't it, in places?
Yeah.
You don't need to hit the ball miles, but you need to be strategic. But everything came together for you that week, didn't it? And it was rough weather, so you had to cope with that side of it as well. How proud were you of your achievement that week?
Yeah, very proud, because as you say, it was tough conditions and quite a fiddly course. So the fact that I managed to kind of manage my game around the weather conditions and the course, I was quite proud, because I think that week I only made 2 bogeys and a double bogey. So to have come away from it, taking into account the conditions and that kind of thing with kind of those results was good.
And you had a 2-shot lead going up the last and you held on to it.
Yeah.
So lessons learned. But significant about that round, I think, as well, was it was bogey free.
Yeah.
So under pressure, knowing that a title was there to be won, you were able to close it out in quite stylish fashion. So did that mean a lot to you as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was my first ever bogey free round. I didn't even realise until the presentation when the person presenting me was like, "You've had a bogey free round." I was like, "Oh." But yeah, I think I said playing with the girl who was obviously leading before we teed off was good, because I knew what I was chasing. Kind of, she was there, obviously playing the holes as well, so I knew what was in front of me the whole time. But I didn't necessarily tee off with the intention of or I didn't set myself the expectation of trying to keep up with her, but it was always in the back of my mind, and that was it was there.
It was great scenes at the end, wasn't it, when you held the winning putt and all your England teammates kind of jumped on top of you on the green.
Yeah.
Was that nice as well, the fact you were able to share the moment with people that you're close with playing in national squads?
Yeah, it's like, to have the team there is always great, because as much as we're all competing for the same trophy and the same titles, we support each other 100%. And I know that if it was anyone else, like, I'd be there to support them and enjoy their wins. So yeah, it's a great feeling.
What does it mean for you to play for England? I mean, just with all the teammates there that week and stuff like that, there seemed to be a real good spirit amongst you all.
Yeah.
Is that the case?
Yeah. I think we're a really close-knit group. I know all of the team weren't there that week, but even like our group of 10 were really close, which is great for even, when there's just kind of like a small group of us, we're still all really close.
So that was win number, I'm losing count here, was that win number 4? I think it was. Win number 4. Can we move on to win number 5 in the last 6 months? This one was a bit special as well, wasn't it? Just to put it in perspective, the Rose Ladies series, which has been going on for a couple of years, Justin Rose and his wife Kate have very kindly supported that for women professionals. But some amateurs have got to play as well, and you got an invite. So when you rocked up at your favourite venue, Walton Heath again that week, what was your thoughts for that round?
Honestly, I didn't really have any expectations. I was kind of, especially considering who I was playing with, I was kind of there for the experience. Obviously, like, as I said before, a competitive person, and like just the way I am, like I was playing to win, but that wasn't my expectation. I think I was more nervous about who I was playing with than actually playing the round of golf. But yeah.
You need to say who you were playing with. I know who it was, but
I was playing with Dame Laura Davies and Trish Johnson.
Not too bad, eh?
No,
not too bad.
It was
20 Solheim Cups between them, I think.
Yeah, that was mentioned on the first tee. But yeah, it was an insane experience. Even just to watch them play, they don't particularly hit it that far. I mean, Dame Laura Davies does, but Trish Johnson doesn't necessarily. But they still kind of, their short game and their up and down game was insane.
So much experience between them. In some ways, did that help you that you were almost, while you're playing your own game, you were watching them and almost forgetting the tournament, if that makes sense, that you were kind of just playing your nice little free ball and it was fine, and what was going on elsewhere wasn't really part of the idea at that point? Yeah.
I like from earlier, because obviously playing with Dame Laura Davies and Trish Johnson, there was a big crowd. So I just kind of got into my own little zone quite early on, because I caddied for myself, but my mum and my aunt were watching, and they kept on asking, like, how are you? I was like, I'm so nervous. But yeah, I just kind of got into my own little zone and just played golf.
Was there a point that you knew you were in contention? Did you look at leaderboards, or were you just playing your own game?
Yeah, so I knew on 17 that I was one shot back, but I didn't know, because Hayley Davis was playing in the group in front of me, and obviously she made a triple at the last, which dropped her back, which meant when I was stood on the 18th tee, I actually had a one-shot lead. But I didn't know this because the 17th green had a leaderboard, but they hadn't updated it yet. So in my mind, I made a birdie down the last, and in my mind, that was to get into the playoffs. So I was kind of ready to go again and play another hole. And then, yeah.
But you didn't need to, because you won. At what point did you find out you'd won? Who told you? My mum told me. I walked off the green.
I was walking towards my bag, and she was like, Rachel, you know you've won. I was like, no. But yeah, that was a good, because obviously my mum told me, so we got to share that moment.
Yeah. And your mum takes you here, there, and everywhere, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She's always at the side of the fairway for you. That's special as well, being able to share these moments with family, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I couldn't do it without her. She is, means the world.
She's your taxi driver.
Yeah.
When you look back in the last sort of 6-7 months, you almost have to pinch yourself at how far you've come, because you have been on a remarkable run.
Yeah, definitely. Even just looking back at the past month, but yeah, especially kind of the past 6-7 months, it's been good, and as I say, a good confidence boost going into the rest of the 22 season.
You've come a long way since that set of Barbie clubs, haven't you? Many
Yeah,
years
just
ago.
a little bit.
I like that story though, because everybody starting out in the game has to start somewhere, and then you get to the point that you're at, where England Girls Squad, etc. So for those people who haven't heard the Barbie story, tell us that again.
Yeah, so I got into golf by a set of Barbie golf clubs. I found them in American Golf Vice looking for, I think, a Father's Day present for my granddad. So yeah, like that was kind of, I was obsessed with Barbie at the time, so it was like, that's what I need. And yeah, so I think I played with them until the Christmas of that year, and then got my first set of proper golf clubs and spiraled from there. Now I'm here.
Were you interested in golf before that, or was it just going into the shop and seeing the Barbie branding that did it for you?
Yeah, my dad had played golf, and there was always golf clubs in the house, but I never really knew like what it was or like how it worked or anything. I just knew that they were in the house, but then once I saw them, it was like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do.
And look where it's got you now.
Exactly.
What are your aims for the rest of 2022? You've already done a lot, but I presume you don't want to stop here. You want to kick on and do even more.
Of course not, yeah. Obviously, I go to America to university in the middle of August.
That's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. Very exciting. So kind of preparing for that. Obviously, I've got quite a few tournaments in between then. Obviously, a few wins would be nice, but yeah, just see how it goes.
And events for England as well, because you were part of the home international squad last year, the boys and girls that won here at Woodall Spa, and you're back up in Scotland, I think, for home internationals this year. Looking to hang on to that title with the rest of the England girls. Obviously, I mean, as I said before, we're a really close knit group, so to do it again would be amazing. Well, with you and the team playing the way you are, I think there's every chance. Rachel, congratulations on all you've done in the last 6 months, and best of luck for what lies ahead. Thank you.
Excellent stuff there from Rachel, always good to hear from her. And you can keep up to date with her performances by following England Golf on social media and via our website at www.englandgolf.org. Now, let's catch up on what's been happening in and around England golf over the last month.
An 8-strong Great Britain and Ireland team has been named for the 42nd Curtis Cup clash with America, and 5 of the team are English. Annabelle Fuller, Charlotte Heath, Kaylee McGinty, Emily Price and Amelia Williamson have been selected by Captain Elaine Ratcliffe from the initial squad of 12 named in April. England Girls Squad member Lottie Wood is first reserve for the match, which will take place at Merion Golf Club in Pennsylvania from the 10th to the 12th of June.
10 of England's brightest young talents will head to Germany early in June to compete at the German Girls and Boys Open. Hugh Adams, Seb Cave, Dylan Shaw Radford and Tyler Weaver will represent the boys at Golf Club San Leon Roth between the 2nd and 4th of June. Rachel Gourley, Olivia Lee, Isla McDonald O'Brien, Patience Rhodes, Maggie Whitehead and Lottie Wood are flying the flag for the girls. Good luck one and all. England Golf has strengthened its supplier relationship with Citation Limited to provide clubs with free HR, employment law and health and safety support. The new How To Hub is the place for all affiliated clubs to obtain access to an exclusive guidance centre, and more details are available on the club support section of the England Golf website. Stephen Jensen from the Wisley and Sales Catherine Rothor started their seasons with a bang by winning the English Senior Men's and Senior Women's Amateur Championships respectively. Stephen's win came in dramatic fashion on the 18th green at the Leicestershire against Andrew Smith, while Kath earned her second win in the women's event by beating Tracy Williamson in the final at High Post in Wiltshire. Jamie Jopling from Ramside Golf Club in Durham has won the first of this year's Heroes Handshake Awards, presented by England Golf and the Golf Foundation's Young Ambassadors. Jamie, diagnosed with autism at the age of 4, inspires others with his social posts about rising to the challenges he faces playing the game he loves. Lottie Wood made a stunning debut on the Ladies European Tour when she finished tied for 13th at the Madrid Open. The England Girls Squad player took up a place in the field courtesy of an invite from Modest Golf, the backers of the English Under-18 Championship. Lottie earned the prize for finishing as leading girl at the inaugural event staged last year at her home club of Farnham. Harley Smith from the England Boys Squad also competed with the pros during the recent British Masters at the Belfry. The Essex teenager also enjoyed a practice round in the company of host Danny Willett and Ryder Cup legend Lee Westwood. Lee had some advice for the youngster as he makes his way in the game.
Still very young, isn't he? 17 just, so the foundations are there to become a very good player. There are so many different things that go into becoming a good player. Some people, have the technique but don't have the mindset. But hopefully he's got everything and he'll have a long and successful career.
John Gough added to his impressive CV by winning the Lytham Trophy at Royal Lytham and St Anne's. That adds to the English and Spanish amateur titles he currently holds. There was also success for Suffolk's Alice Barlow when she won the Welsh women's stroke play at Southern Down. England's men claimed a hard-fought victory over France at Saint-Nom-la-Bretèche as the biennial match returned following a 2-year absence due to the pandemic. England's prowess in the singles allowed them to win by 13.5 points to 10.5. The weekend also allowed the men to get used to a course that will co-host this year's World Team Championships in September. And finally, it was a pleasure to watch some of the best amateur men's golfers take to the links at Saunton Golf Club for the recent Brabazon Trophy. One-man dominated proceedings, leading from day one through to the final round, where he secured a 5-shot win over runner-up and England men's squad player Aaron Edwards-Hill. Step forward Christian Maas, an 18-year-old South African who looks destined for the very top.
Christian, the trophy says it all. You're the Brabazon Trophy winner this year. How does that feel?
No, amazing. No, still can't actually believe that I won it. Feels like I have to play tomorrow again, so I'm really excited and very happy that I won it.
You started off the day with a 1-shot lead, but at the end you end up winning by 5. So quite an outstanding performance by you today. How do you rate that?
The front down was good. I had solid golf shots and left myself in good positions. I had a couple of unlucky breaks of flyers out of the rough that I made drop shots on 8 and then made a great up and down on the 12th hole to keep the momentum going on top of Aaron's birdie. So yeah, all in all, great performance today.
You must be proud of your performance for the whole week, because 14 under par on this golf course is extremely good. Yeah,
this has to be the best golf ball striking wise I've played. I hit the ball incredible off the tee. This is probably the first tournament with all this bush and stuff that I haven't lost a golf ball, so I'm very proud of that, and then hopefully I can continue that for the next couple of weeks.
There's a couple of South Africans that have got their name in that trophy. Kyle McClatchy in 2017, Charles Schwartzel, who I think he won the Masters once, didn't he?
Yeah.
On that as well, so you're following a proud tradition of South African success. How does that feel?
No, it feels very good, very, very good.
All your South African teammates and colleagues and team manager and stuff here today, you're draped in the South African flag. What does it mean to you to do this for your home country as well?
No, I'm very proud of it. It's the first tournament and it's a big one. So, yeah, really don't know actually what to say. I'm very, very happy that I could have pulled it off. So, yeah.
What's your abiding memory from this week, your first real tournament in England? Apart from clutching that trophy and winning, is there anything that stands out for you?
Yeah, our first practice round on this golf course, it seemed impossible with all the wind and the rain. So the weather was perfect the whole week for me. So yeah, got lucky on that side. So.
And even though there was a couple of Englishmen and an Irishman on your tail, the home support here today seemed to really take to you, and I know that you were very grateful for their support in the home stretch.
Yeah, I was so surprised this morning. Someone greeted me in Afrikaans. I was didn't think that would happen. So yeah, there was a couple of people supporting from South Africa, so that was nice.
Well, excellent play this week. You're a deserved and worthy winner of the Brabazon Trophy. Many congratulations, Christian.
Thank you very much.
Remember the name, Christian Maas, the Brabazon Trophy winner for 2022, and a young man with a very, very bright future. Well played to Christian, but also everyone who took part at Saunton, an excellent venue for such an amazing and prestigious amateur championship. Now we stay at Saunton for our next feature. Sunday, May 22nd was World Biodiversity Day, and the Devon Club, like most around the country, are working hard to ensure they strike the right balance between man and nature on their courses. Ecological and environmental issues are key to the future of golf, and sustainability is something for every club, and indeed every golfer, to be educated on. I caught up with courses manager Murray Long at Saunton, who told me all about the club's approach to sustainability on a coastal site that is a haven for both golfers and nature.
Murray, this is a site of outstanding natural beauty. Can you tell us a little bit about the land that you have here at Saunton Golf Club?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's, like you said, a great piece of land. We've got lots of different designations here, so SSSI, SPA, area of outstanding natural beauty, a biosphere as well. So it's really pretty special piece of land, which means we have to obviously treat it with care, and lots of different things we set up accordingly to make sure that happens.
I think there's 311 acres here on site, quite a delicate ecosystem as well. Can you tell us a little bit about how you have to manage that?
Yeah, obviously we're very careful with what we use on the system, so no high input fertiliser or anything like that. Herbicides are minimal, and what we try and do is really take into account what nature's doing and what the ecosystem is doing. So water is managed quite sparsely, and also as well anything we can do to encourage nature to flourish here and move it forward is exactly what we do.
The nature of a links golf course is the dune system, which I know is integral to the courses here. Does that pose challenges as well, having to maintain and look after them?
Yeah, dune systems have been in decline through the UK, so our goal really is to make sure we bring it back to a real favourable state. So we'll manage the scrub, take any invasive scrub out, make sure we encourage open sand, so we have different species of sand lizards here and all sorts of nice things, lots of wildflowers, etc. Lots of orchids as well, because it's quite an amazing site for that because of where it is, and the humidity is quite high. So it's quite special in sort of through the summer months.
A lot of flora and fauna and bird life here as well for people to enjoy when they're playing a round of golf as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of different different species of birds that you find on the dune systems are here. And like I said, it's just about encouraging them really. A lot of ground nesting birds, skylarks, loads of skylarks around in the morning, which are really nice to listen to. So it's a pleasant place to work, all times of the day.
Sustainability is key for any golf club now, and that translates to the greenkeeping staff in terms of the equipment you use and various methods you use to try and become more environmentally friendly. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, what we do here is we're very careful in the selection of machinery. So we're moving towards electric machinery. We're taking small steps towards that. So the new purchases we've made this year have been hybrids, so petrol electrics. So they're working really well. And what we'll do as well with water management and things like that, we're very careful in what we do there.
I noticed electric points in the car park as well for electric vehicles, solar panels in the clubhouse. So it's an all-round effort, isn't it, to try and improve the whole environmental issue? Yeah,
absolutely. The Greenkeepers compound is being developed this year. So with that development, there will be solar panels on the roofs there to try and harness the energy. And so, yeah, everything we do, we try and look at, take careful consideration what's going on in our environment and don't overuse resources.
When you look around here, it's not a bad office, is it, to come every day?
It's pretty special, yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's it for another podcast. Thanks to Murray for his insight on sustainability down at Saunton, and to all my other guests. Brilliant to listen in to Danny Willett and Lee Westwood as they chatted about the English Amateur Championships, and also to hear from Rachel Gourley as she targets more success in 2022. If you want to keep track of all that's happening in and around the club and amateur scene in England, then make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn by searching for England Golf, and also by checking out our website at www.englandgolf.org. Thanks also to Jenna Lee Portas for producing the podcast, and to everyone for joining me. Enjoy your golf, and until the next time, bye for now.